Sometimes first dates can be one of the most nerve-wracking and uncomfortable moments that we can ever have. I mean, you've met someone potentially in real life, more likely online. You've never met this person before. You don't know what's going to happen on this date. And it just makes us so nervous at the thought of going there. And it's just weird and it's uncomfortable and you're just not clicking. But fear not, because in this video, I'm going to give you 3 very simple ways to make a first date just a little less awkward. Keep watching. Hey there, Adam Lidolte from lovestrategies.com, where we help successful single women get out there and attract long-lasting love and do it with a proven strategy. And here's the thing with getting nervous or uncomfortable or socially anxious before a date. A lot of people think that this is just who they are, something that they can't control. But the reality is that you can actually use a few strategies to make you appear a lot less nervous and actually come in with the right type of energy. And the sad reality of humans is that we are incredibly judgmental creatures, okay? And most studies have found that within anywhere from 3 seconds to 1 minute, we are judging whether or not we like a person. And what's more fascinating is typically whatever we decide within those first 3 seconds to a minute, we tend to uphold that decision for the lifetime of knowing that person. So first impressions are very important, and this is something that you can really work on when you go on these dates. And look, I can relate. Years ago, when I used to go on dates, I used to get so nervous. Like, I'm telling you, like, I needed to drink like 3 gallons of water just to keep the conversation going. I was the guy who was kind of shaking when he'd meet a woman until I started to learn these exact strategies. And suddenly it just eased all of my anxiety before the date. So the first strategy is to get your mindset into the right social state before the date. So have you ever gone out for a night or maybe even gone on a date and you're just in like an amazing mood? You're just like in that state where you're just like, you're saying all the right things. You're like weirdly charming. You're having a really fun time and you're just like absolutely on fire. Whereas, have you ever gone out other times and you're just not in the mood and you haven't, like, let's say you show up to a party and you haven't talked to many people and you suddenly feel this far disconnected. Before you know it, you even feel this far disconnected. And like 5 minutes in, if you haven't talked to anyone, you're like, that's it, I'm out. I can't talk to anybody here. If you're struggling with this, you understand those 2 states, you need to realize that socializing is actually just a mindset, and getting into that peak social state is something that anyone can do at any given time. So what I teach my clients to do, and what I used to personally do before I had to do anything that made me nervous, such as a date, is to get what we call warmed up, socially warmed up. A social warm up basically means that before you go on a date, start talking to lots and lots of people before the date. And that could be total strangers. Maybe you have to stop at the convenience store before going to the bar to meet the guy. Talk to the clerk. Maybe you show up an hour early and go to a different bar and talk to a few people close by just to get the lips moving and get yourself into that social state. I used to be so dorky that before a date, I'd be walking around giving people weird high fives, just random strangers, just to get me into that fun social state. And the reason why this is so effective is it actually works very similarly to getting warmed up physically. Like, think about it. Before you go to the gym or while you're at the gym, before you start lifting heavy weights or start doing really intense exercise, you're going to get the body really warmed up and you're going to get kind of the muscles moving a little bit. And if you don't do that, then it's going to be very difficult for you to actually do the difficult exercise. So the same exact principle works when it comes to socializing. Try it the next time before you go on a date and you're going to see, wow, okay, now I'm in this kind of peak social state and I'm much more able to connect. Number 2 is for you to have a story from your day ready to go. Typically, when you go on a date, the first thing someone asks you is, how's your day been, right? It's just kind of a normal, kind of boring question that people might ask you when you go out. So rather than just being like, oh, my day was okay, you know, I was just at work, my boss was like kind of a dick, and that's pretty much it. Instead of having that, have a story from your day ready to go. That's actually kind of a fun story. Maybe you talked to someone at work, maybe you heard something in the workplace. Make sure it's positive, make sure it's fun, and make sure it's kind of interesting to hear. Now, here's the caveat. If the story didn't exactly happen today, maybe it happened yesterday or the day before, that's okay. You can kind of tell that story as if it maybe happened that day, but have something ready to go from your day that is really interesting and intriguing. Once again, this is typically one of the first questions people ask you when you go on a date. It's like, how's your day? Where are you coming from? And if you're coming from work, really important to just have kind of a story in your back pocket to tell them when you see the guy. And finally, the third most important strategy of all of these things, if you don't do this, then nothing else is going to work, which is using this strategy that I call smocking. I know it's kind of a weird word that I made up about 10 years ago, but bear with me. Smocking is just simply smiling while talking. So imagine if I show up on a date and I'm like, hey, really nice to meet you. I'm just so excited to be able to go on this date with you. Versus, hey, it's so nice to meet you. I was really excited to be able to go on this date with you. Notice the smiling while talking. Try it right now. I dare you to just say, I'm going to smock and smile while I talk. For many people, it feels a little uncomfortable. It feels a little bit weird, but it is the most powerful strategy that you can use to appear charismatic when you meet a person for the first time. And there's so much dating advice out there that tells you women to just smile at a guy. But it's kind of weird if you're just kind of walking around, you're talking to a guy and out of nowhere, you just smile, right? No, we want to be smiling while talking, and it just really elevates the whole conversation. It makes you appear more warm, as well as it gives him those signals that you're interested in him, that it's going well. So do you have a first date coming up? What I want you to do is leave a comment right there below. Tell us about the date you have coming up and commit to using one of these strategies, if not all of the strategies. Smock. Bring a story with you on that first date, and don't forget to get socially warmed up. And if you want more help in your love life, don't forget to head on over to lovestrategies.com, where we'll walk you through a proven process to create that love strategy that is customized to you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll speak to you, you beautiful lady. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.